Welcome to Scoot Friday. It's been a while. How are you?
I'm great. What about you?
I'm wonderful too. It's funny, we've just been in like 3 hours of meetings together. So it's always interesting to change the dynamic and get into a little Scoot Friday moment. Oh, wow. What's new with you, man? What's been going on the last few weeks?
We finished a bit of a program, which we just recorded an episode over. So if you're curious, people can go check it out. It's gonna be out soon, this weekend.
Yeah.
We got a lot of we are getting into like the peak of a lot of productions. We are making like a lot of samples of the Apollo Go. We are going to San Francisco next week to present it. So very excited about that. It's gonna be my first time presenting it. So after you, so I have a big
The
shoot
pressure's
still
on.
in. Just working on that and wrapping up all the probative feedback and implementing it into production. And we're gonna go to China as well in November. So preparing for this trip. So
Yeah. And I know we've talked about the Go so many times now, but it's the scooter that honestly gets me so excited. I love the Pro, but as you know, I live in a condo and it's fun to take it out for a rip on the canal, but it's not something I could see myself using every single day. But the Go is like the scooter that takes all the best parts of the Pro and just packages them into something that's affordable, compact, but still looks freaking incredible.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess for anyone watching this, we are looking for a few individuals to help test the Go. It's going to be essentially a beta program, just on a slightly more condensed scale. Why condensed? Because we have already tested a bunch of the stuff on the Pro, so like we don't need to retest the throttles, we don't need to retest the folding mag, we don't need to retest our battery and motor suppliers. We know it works. We've done it before. So we've kind of condensed that program into a smaller sample size essentially. So if anyone's curious about the Apollo Go and becoming a part of the testing there, let us know. Big caveat is you need to be somewhere warm. You need to be able to ride it in December of this year. So just keep that in mind.
And probably need to do 1,000 kilometers in a month. So
1,000. We're doubling the requirement from the Pro. Okay, I see. Cool. I see someone here is asking about the Apollo Explorer as well. Perfect timing, David. We just received this second sample one?
Yeah, we got the second sample.
How was the second sample?
It's polarizing in the office. Every time we get a scooter, I'm like, that's the most stable scooter ever. And Chris is always thinking the opposite. So we are testing it, and it's everything we promised. It's in the last video, I mentioned at the end of the video all the change that we wanted to do about suspension, how it locked, and we got a lot of feedback about how the battery, to lock it. So it's nice that we implemented all those changes. And again, it's a lot of those components, even if the scooter is completely different. It's coming from the city, it's coming from the Go, it's coming from the Pro. So it's solid. It's solid. We got two samples, and they feel like real product, just like the latest Apollo Go. That's nice.
So what give me the top 3 reasons why someone would consider buying the scooter, and then what are the top 3 reasons someone wouldn't?
Top 3, I think removable battery. It's very compact too.
For a high performance scooter.
High performance scooter, it's 52 volt, 15 AH. It's going at 60 kilometers, 65 kilometers per hour. It's the dual suspension as well makes it very comfortable. It's the same setup as the Pro, hydraulic in the front, rubber at the back. And obviously, because it looks so cool, right? It's a scooter that looks the coolest out there. There's nothing like it. The top 3 reasons why someone wouldn't buy it: the form factor. It's side platform. Again, even internally, it's polarizing. Some people love it. Some other people need more time to love it. The battery, well, it's 52 volt, but only 15 AH. So it's not the highest capacity out there if you compare it to the Phantom, for example.
But the way we're approaching potentially packaging it is that it would come with like a 10 AH and a 15 AH, or maybe 2 15 AH, exactly. Right? So the total capacity would be that of a Phantom or bigger, essentially.
Or a Pro.
Yeah. It would just basically, the way we're thinking about it is maybe you want to leave one at the office, leave one at home, and you kind of swap it halfway through or something like this, right? So I think that we could probably get around.
And you can fast charge it. So, it's fully charged in 2.5 or 3 hours. Yeah. So that's great. The form factor, it's a premium scooter. Of course, it comes with the wireless charger, the COB Lite, the IoT. So there is obviously a price that comes with it. But there's also the quality that comes with it. It's something else. And the other one, it's the only reason would be really the form factor. It's so out there that and that's a discussion we're having internally. Is it a scooter worth educating people in, because even if we say this is more comfortable to ride than a regular scooter, you go on Reddit and people are
it's and we've just gone through it with the Pro, right? Every single person slammed us for putting drum brakes on the scooter. And now that we've tested 150 scooters worth of data, and every single person was like, yeah, the drum brakes are great, because we never use them, right? So what does it matter if they're hydraulic or drum or something in between? So for anyone watching this, we would love to know what your take is on the side-by-side foot platform. You've probably never ridden a scooter like that. And would that be a big enough barrier for you to not purchase the Apollo Explorer? For context, I think the price range we're aiming at is basically the same as the Phantom. So let's say the 2,300 USD. It would probably be 2 times 15Ah battery packs, 52 volt, dual 1000.
Yeah.
So front suspension, rear suspension,
all the cool light,
all the bells and whistles, exactly, IoT, phone-less display. So basically all of the same features as the Pro, just in a slightly different form factor and then different size.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Let us know what you think and if that would be something that would appeal to you or not. So tell me, for you personally, the side-by-side foot platform, is it a win? Is it superior to, let's say the Pro or the City? Or is it something that you think is maybe applicable to a specific use case, but generally not as good?
To me, it's superior. And when you ride it at first, the first kilometer you're going to do, it feels different. Obviously, you need to adjust. But I took it yesterday or the day before for a 20-kilometer ride, and you forget that your foot are like that. So, I was like, oh shit, okay, I need to be careful to not just switch them around like another scooter. I'm going to crash. I prefer this because to me, now I go on a lot of scooter ride, obviously. And I always do the same loop, 20 kilometers. At the end of every ride, I step up on the scooter, and I just stretch my leg because you've been like this with your leg for so long. And you don't realize the stress that it's putting on your back or your legs when you are all curved like this. And that's what struck me when I got off of the Explorer, is you get out of the scooter and you just feel great. You feel the same way as when you started. So it definitely put less stress on your body.
And what about because I can just see Paul from Ride a Guide watching this, and you know how he rides the scooters. When he's accelerating, he's super behind the handlebar, and then when he's turning, he's leaning super. So can you still be as mobile, I guess, on the deck of the scooter while riding the Explorer?
Yeah, you definitely have more position than just like this, because you can play with your foot a little bit more in the front and the back, but you don't have as much freedom as just a big ass deck.
Right.
So that's different, and that's the thing with the Explorer that we made. Usually scooters, you have the Tour that is like this, you have the Pure. They're single motor, 36 volt, no suspension. The Tour is shit. So when you accelerate, it's gentle, and it's gentle. But with the Explorer, we put the Mach 1 in there, we put the 52 volt, we put all the things. So when you accelerate, it accelerates a lot, So maybe that's the thing that we need to adjust, because yesterday one of our employee was testing it, and he was saying, when you accelerate with the Pro, you can put your foot on the footrest and really compensate for it.
You have to counter kind of
exactly. Right? Compared to the Explorer, both your feet are like this, so you need to adjust. For me, for now it's fine, but I can understand when someone try it for the first time that they feel like this. And we made a point on all our scooters except the Air for now to put a footrest because of that
exact reason. Yeah.
So.
That's fair. And do you feel because the center of gravity is a little bit lower on the Explorer, I think, right? Because you're not standing on top of the deck, you're kind of standing beside it a little bit. Does that change anything?
It's just so different compared to a regular scooter, because the difference, how you put your weight on each foot, that's really what's going to affect the stability of it. So it's hard to compare it to a regular scooter in that aspect, but you do feel very grounded with the Explorer. And you have a right angle that is too much right now. So the stability of this, plus the fact the center of gravity being lower, you feel like you're stuck to the ground to a level that I didn't experience with the Pro, for example.
That's fair. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to testing it this afternoon too. It's like you said, it's been a scooter that's polarized the office into two camps. I don't know, man. We need to see how it drives.
Yeah, like Max said, let us know in the comment what you think. That'll be interesting.
Yeah. Okay, we have a couple of questions here. So David, yeah, stay tuned for the Apollo Explorer V2 walkthrough, which should be dropping probably at the end of this month, early November. It's going to be like the usual 15, 20-minute detailed analysis of what's new and what's changed. Maybe we can also throw in like a first-person point of view riding footage type of video, right? Like I think that would be quite interesting. So that's something we could probably even take care of this afternoon. We have the 360 cam. Naystra, could we see the Go handlebar on the City 2024 upgrade? It's possible, yes. However, the City 2023 is basically morphing into the City 2024. Like we released it so late this year. We're committed to making no changes on it because it's truly like one of the best scooters we've ever released. Like to hit the market so far. I think the Pro will probably steal that title once it's delivered. So it is possible. We're not actively planning for introducing this change. But if we change our mind and put it on the roadmap, we'll let you know. Easy, not too many questions today. So what else has been happening this week? We just pushed a big software update, I think, last week, right? Just give me a little bit of an update on what's changed in the Apollo app since then.
Yeah, we were testing with the beta group for a while on the Pro, all the new features. So basically, it's that update that we took all the feedback of the Pro Beta 2, fixed the bug, and then pushed out. So it's optimized for the Apollo Pro. That's nice. We were talking about like the IoT, the change of light, change of sound, and there's a couple new features that we introduced, like how to kick in the cruise control. Before you needed to hold the throttle down for 6 seconds when it was active, the cruise control. And now you can leave your thumb on the left turning signal for 2 or 3 seconds and it's going to kick in. So it's way easier to kick in the cruise control. For now, this is only available for the Pro.
Does it activate the turn signal?
No, not if you leave your finger. For now, only available for the Pro. For the Air and City, it's probably something we can do in the future, but it requires a display update, which are not the easiest to do. So yeah, mostly for the Pros and the new scooter, the new productions. A ton of bug too about just how we save the ride. So before, when you were going on a ride that was too long, it was not saving on the app or the backend, or sometimes just the backend, not the app. And this was a limitation of how big of a file we could send to the backend with the Google service that we use. So now there's a new logic to chop down those rides and sending it in smaller packet. So that's nice. It's fixed. There was a famous bug that when you buy a new scooter, it's limited to 20 kilometers per hour. That's not a bug. But when you connect to the app, you should be able to unlock it. It should push a new value and the top speed limit line to the maximum that the scooter can do. And it was not doing it. So people needed to do either factory reset in the app or remove the app, put it again, and then it would push a new value. So that's finally fixed. And that was annoying because we saw some people returning the scooter because of this. Because well, it's fine, right? Yeah, it's locked at 20 kilometers per hour. And to your point, when you sell it into big stores like Best Buy, they don't have access to the same customer service necessarily as us. People just gonna unbox it, try it. So it doesn't work. They're gonna return it to Best Buy and that's it. Yeah. Compared to our customer that they're just gonna reach out and we're gonna tell them. So that was a bug that was very costly for us and annoying for customer.
Yeah, totally.
So that's fixed, and also just the way we calculate everything in the backend now, the diagnostic that we can give when you reach out to CX is a lot more precise. We're talking about like elevation data. We're having the weather of where you're doing your ride. So if something is overheating and not working properly, we have more insight to it, and that's very valuable to make product decisions.
Yeah, and auto connect.
And auto connect, yeah, the biggest one probably. The flow to connect to a scooter is so annoying. You need to click on the Bluetooth icon. You need to go into My Scooter List, click on the scooter, then it's going to connect. Then you go back into the dashboard. That's way too long. If you had to do this for your Apple Watch every time or your car,
you want to use it.
Yeah, it would be so annoying. So now it's easier because we have auto connect. There's a new view that is called My Garage that is at the bottom of the map. So instead of having to go in My Scooter List and select, it's right there. And the app always going to reconnect to the latest scooter that it was connected to. So it's removing this pinpointed as well completely. And we are currently working on just redoing the whole UX, the user interaction of the app to make it even smoother. Get rid of a lot of screens that just going to make the whole process a lot quicker. People just want to open the app, jump on their scooter and go, So With that said, we also introduced the auto ride feature. So instead of having to click on the ride to record it, which a lot of people forget to do, now you just start rolling with the scooter and it's recording the ride. And more importantly, before, if you were having disconnection with the scooter, or if you were stopping for 5 minutes, the scooter turned off, the ride is finished and you need to restart another one. And it's annoying when you want to do like a long test range and see and publish like, oh, check, I just did 40 kilometers with my scooter, because it would be chopped into different rides. Now we ask you, do you want to resume the ride that you were in? And it's removing this whole friction entirely. I love that.
So a lot of kind of low-hanging fruit, it sounds like, things that maybe just became obvious after some extended use of the app. It's great to see, honestly. Like, I think, we've been talking about how do we just make the app work in its existing functionality for as many users as possible? How do we just eliminate the pain points? And I think the next couple sprints are also dedicated to building on what we've done so far, which is really exciting. So I think that the whole team was working really hard. I know, they were here pretty much all weekend to working through that update. So
there was an episode released yesterday. If you are curious to hear more about direct and match talking into details about what was done exactly.
Yeah. Cool. Donovan, I bought a Pro that will get here in December, but I live in a cold climate. Can I start in my 6 months? Yeah, actually. So the activation of IoT is tied to when you activate it, I guess, more so than when your scooter arrives. So just make sure that you activate it when you're ready to start using it. Elwa, you want to take Nastro?
Nastro, could you explain the new flow with AutoConnect and AutoRide? It doesn't seem to work on my side, but I just want to make sure I understand the feature properly. So you need to go into settings, app settings, and check the box, AutoRide, AutoConnect, which should be on by default. But the flow is every time you open the app look at the latest Bluetooth connection that you had with the scooter. It's going to try to reconnect to that scooter right away. So you open the app, it's loading on that scooter, and then it's connected. That's the new flow. Pretty simple.
Yeah.
For AutoRide, it's as soon as we detect a GPS movement and a speed from the scooter, that instead of having to click on the button ride, it's like if you clicked on it, it's the same flow. It's just the ride is started, basically. It's that simple.
And Nastro, one thing that we are currently preparing to record as a video is basically an extremely detailed walkthrough of all existing app functionalities. It'll be probably too granular, but obviously you'll be able to reference the sections that are relevant to you. So stay tuned. It should be coming out in the next couple of weeks.
David Hedebach, thank you for putting a GPS on a scooter. And my Anukim OXO stolen recently, and I was excited to learn how I can buy a new scooter that have an integrated GPS. Yeah, well, you're welcome. It is very challenging to put a GPS that
pain in the butt.
that talk to the controller and you can control it. It's near impossible for our size, I think, of company. So yeah, we're also very glad we did it. And just during the pro beta that we did, there are a couple of scooters were lost because of UPS. They said, "Oh, we don't have it," and we're like, "Well, actually, it's right there, so go get it." So yeah, even on our side, we see already benefits from it.
Yeah, and we know some customers like to put AirTags on their scooters, but it's one thing to know where it is. It's another thing to be able to lock it, mark it as stolen, set up the alarm, mess with the thieves. So I think you're getting a lot more value with the Apple IoT.
Totally. And AirTag, you can take it out of the scooter. The IoT, well, if you kill the scooter, you take it out, the scooter is still dead.
Yeah,
that's very nice. Is it worth upgrading my City 2020 Pro battery to the 23 battery? It's 2 Ah more, so you're gaining 10%, I think. I think it's too minimal. I wouldn't upgrade the battery, except if you're seeing a degradation because you did thousands of kilometers on it. I think the stem and the folding and the headset is more worth it to upgrade if you haven't done it already. The folding mechanism, it's something you won't have to ever adjust again, and it's rock solid. And the headset, well, you have the new throttle, you have the turn signals, the new handle grip. So I would say focus your money on those upgrades instead. And yeah,
it does beg the question, and I think we've had this discussion with Derek too, which is there a feature for the app, somewhere in the distant future that tells our riders how to ride more efficiently? How do you get the most out of your battery, given the trip you have ahead of you? Because we know that there are some things that contribute to maybe like aggressive acceleration probably doesn't help, right? Maybe there are certain paths you can do to avoid hills to maybe maximize your battery range. And, is that something you've thought about before?
Yeah, but now we are focusing on refining the existing feature.
As far as ideas go,
it would be, I think what would be nice, something we talked about before, is when you do change those settings, like remove the kick to start, that has a big impact on the battery, or increase the acceleration or increase the regen, to pop up a message that at least say it like this. That would be nice.
Or even having a profile maybe where you say, I want to basically get the maximum range right now, and it automatically removes kick to start, or actually adds kick to start, puts you in like a certain speed mode and acceleration curve, cuts off your drum brake, so you only have to use the. Just kidding. But
something like that. Yeah. One thing we do have in the app currently, though, is battery health for all the models, and that's also something new with the latest version. So charge your scooter to 100%, go into battery, check the health, and based on the voltage, it's going to tell you if, well, actually, maybe you should change it because it's lost capacity. But quickly, the kick to start, that's going to give you a lot more batteries. Acceleration, the fastest you charge a battery and the fastest you discharge it, the fastest the battery is going to die in a lifespan way. So
that's why we're putting fast chargers in every scooter.
Exactly. Exactly. But now we are still within very reasonable limit for a charger. But so stem, handlebar, those are the one that are worth it. We have Brett Goldsby. What scooter were you looking for? Few testers in warmer climate. I'm in Florida. The Apollo Go, the latest one, the small one. So that would be it for Florida. That would be nice.
It's a lot of riding in December though, Brett. So we said probably in the range of 1,000 kilometers. So what is that, like 600 ish miles probably? And something like that, right? So over the course of a month. So got to put in the time if you want it for free.
Maybe you have to skip Christmas.
Exactly.
But yeah, I believe the state in winter is warm, so that would work. Is there a way to upgrade my brake light? I have an early version of the City Pro 2022, and my brake light stays solid, so nobody can see when I'm braking. Is there anything I can do? First question, can you upgrade it? No, because it's within the fender. So you could have something externally, cut the wire, solder it. That could be a solution. But the core of the problem is that it's not flashing when you're braking. And that's available via a firmware update. So maybe that's something we can look internally to just make it available for all the City 22 to fix this, because it is confusing. Because when you are in first gear, called walk mode, then it's flashing, and when you switch to the second or third gear, it's no longer flashing. So yeah, I'm gonna look with the team to make it available, so it's always solid when your lights are on, and when you press the brake, it flashes, even if your lights are off or on.
Is there a reason we still haven't gotten rid of the walk mode? It's just caused so much confusion.
It's a regulation in Europe that you need the light to flash when you want to walk next to it. I'm not sure what's the logic behind it.
Right. / like, is it even worth it for like the select number of scooters we sell in Europe, I guess? Do we just, essentially make a case for this law being a little bit...
Actually, it's bigger than that, because when you want to apply, now we have to apply for UL, for example, and those are the things that UL check.
So UL will not, assuming the hardware holds up, they will not grant you the certification unless your scooter has that capability.
Yeah, the basic regulation, which now this is one of them. But yeah, so now it's a UL regulation on top of that. But yeah, we'll try to make it available in the app, and you're going to see a firmware available within the setting of your scooter. That should fix it.
Cool.
And Brett, thanks for the info. Well, you are welcome, sir. What about you? Anything new this week?
Where do I begin, Ola? Where do I begin? No, like Ola said, it's challenging to be a small, non-externally backed company producing hardware, which is generally requiring heavy capital investments, especially given the seasonality of our business. So right now we're just balancing the various production requirements. Obviously it starts with a forecast for next year, figuring out what we plan on selling. We just announced the big Best Buy deal, which is great news, but guess what? Best Buy only pays us 2 months after they get the stock. So we got to figure out how do we finance the productions to get all the stock to them, and then make it work in terms of getting the payment back after 2 months of delivery. So a lot of kind of financial production juggling happening at the same time. but it's exciting, you know. I think being in Best Buy is going to be a really, really big step towards making our scooters more accessible to a lot of people, especially the Apollo Air and Apollo City, which we know for a fact tend to bring people into the Apollo ecosystem. And then, you know, maybe the next scooter becomes the Apollo Explorer, the Apollo Pro. So very curious to see how that goes. Aside from that, we're gearing up for Black Friday, which is, you know, just around the corner. So for anyone watching, you know, you should see a little banner at the bottom here that lets you sign up for early access to Black Friday. We're doing Black Friday a little bit differently this year. Last year and in the past, we've always just kind of discounted our prices and said, this is it. This year, we're not doing that. We're doing small discounts, and we're keeping the big discounts for our community. So you need to be able to get a special discount code, like a secret coupon, we're calling it, in order to get, or rather to be able to take advantage fully of the discounts available. So we're just limiting it basically to anyone who's on our mailing list, to our affiliates, to our referral customers, people who have you know, signed up for the Apollo loyalty plan. So we're just saying, you know, listen, if you haven't been paying attention, if you haven't been following Apollo, that's fine. You shouldn't be getting the top deal. We want to reserve the select number of those deals for people that have been part of this community for as long as, you know, a few years even at this point. So yeah, if you're thinking about buying another scooter, make sure you sign up below.
That's a nice way to reward the community.
Yeah, that's what we were essentially thinking of doing. You know, a lot of these companies, especially like Segway this year, has been so incredibly promotional. And, you know, I have some personal thoughts and feelings about Segway that we're not going to get into now. But I don't think slashing your prices by 50% a week after somebody paid full price for that product is the way to go. So anyways, that basically brings us to the conclusion of this episode. Maybe we can do a separate show called Reflections on Segway, where we just deliberate on the future of Segway and you and whatnot.
We have 3 last questions.
Yeah.
From Gael, is the delivery of the Pro still planned for December? Yep, we're still planning end of December.
Yeah, the only point there, Gael, is we don't know about the different delivery schedules with the different delivery companies. So there's a possibility it falls into, you know, like the very, very early January. But like Alwa mentioned, we're going to be in China. We're going to be there in November, sign off on the final productions. So we're going again. We're going to hand inspect every single unit that comes off the production line. And usually shipping is about 30 days. So, you know, in theory, we're still on track. It's just we want to preface it by saying there are components of that process that we don't control, such as UPS delivery. So there's a possibility it might fall into the beginning of Jan.
Yeah, totally. And usually when we do a first production, you discover surprise. But like we're saying, having done the beta testing, we should go there and hopefully there's never been a better chance than the Pro delivery being on time ever. So yeah. that should be good.
Do you want to maybe take that one in French as well, just in case?
This one.
Okay.
Quick question. If I pick up my Pro Beta from the LA service center, would I go there to pick up the new IoT unit, or would it be shipped to me? It depends. Right now, it's going to be shipped to you. They're all going to be shipped to you. If your Pro is currently in LA, we are shipping them to LA. But in theory, everyone's going to receive their own IoT. You can install it yourself. It's super easy. It's just the reverse of the video about to remove it. Minus you just need to remove the 2 screws from the deck. So yeah, I hope that answered your questions. You should be getting it this week or earlier next week. They're all shipped. And then Stephen Davis thank you. My scooter has been perfect. Beside that, 5,621 kilometers so far. Damn.
Wow, Stephen.
That's
fun. We want to talk to people like you. We want to get customers like you to share what your experience has been like. If you know, first of all, that's incredible. Well done. Thank you for contributing to our goal of 1 billion kilometers. If you would be so kind, feel free to just shoot me an email and we can arrange a little interview, a little testimonial. I would personally love to get you on tape. You can reach me at maciek@apolloscooters.co. Randy, maybe you can drop that in the chat as well. Stefan, if you'd be open to it, I would absolutely love to have a chat with you.
Or 514.
My credit card nerd. Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. We really appreciate your participation as always. Alwa, any parting thoughts, words, wishes?
Thank you, everyone, for joining. We see it's often the same name week after week, and it's nice to building that community and people keep asking a nice question. And we're super excited about the months ahead until the end of the year. You know, with the Pro, the Explore, the Go, there's a lot of cool things that we're gonna show. So it's just going to become more and more exciting, those lives. So really excited about that.
Awesome.
Have a nice
thank you very
weekend.
much, everyone.
Thank you.
Enjoy your weekend and see you next time.